Hello, I'm Jay Kelly. Welcome to my channel. While I have enjoyed many different styles of pistols, my favorite is the 1911. However, in 9mm it does have one annoying trait, an occasional nosedive jam. To be fair, it doesn't happen often, say once every 200 or 300 shots, but when it does, it can ruin a fun day. It may cause you to doubt the reliability of your defensive carry choice. I am not a trained gunsmith, but with over 100,000 rounds fired in training and competition, I am an experienced user. Still, the reason for these failures was not obvious to me. Probably because it didn't happen often and I would just clear the jam and continue the stage, rather than stopping to try and diagnose what had gone wrong. But over time, I started to notice some repeating characteristics of the failure, and I feel that I've kind of determined the problem. Too much ammo, too tight a space. Before we start, all the ammo on my bench are dummy rounds. They have no powder and no primers. Now let's look at the magazines themselves. I've got one here from Springfield Armory and another from Chip McCormick. The Springfield Armory magazine was an OEM mag 9-rounder that came with the gun. The Chip McCormick is an aftermarket round with a capacity of 10. They have both a very similar design. They both have what I refer to as short lips at the back of the magazine to hold the cartridges in place. These are pretty short, as I mentioned. Notice fairly wide openings at the front, just past these lips. The openings allow the cartridge to pop up free of the magazine to be pushed forward by the breech face and loaded then into the chamber. I'm going to do a simple demonstration. I'm going to put one round in each of the magazines. And then what I'm going to do is press the round or the cartridge from the rear, as the breech face would be doing it as well. The breech face actually pushes in this notch right here between the lips on either side. And so I'm just going to push that straight forward, get lined up a little bit. We'll see what happens. I'm going to push it straight forward, straight forward. The cartridge is going straight forward. It's getting close to the openings. As it's getting close to the openings, the follower is starting to push the nose up slightly. Don't know if you can catch that on the view or not. And then as it clears the openings, it pushes it upward a little bit more, pushes up a little bit more, and then it pops straight up. I'll take the Chip McCormick mag. We'll do the same thing. I'm going to push it straight forward, straight forward, straight forward, straight forward. It's going perfectly straight. It's not rotating upward. And then as it clears the lips, it pops straight upward. Now what I'm going to do is take two loaded magazines. Again, the Chip McCormick and the Springfield Armory, loaded to capacity. So the Springfield Armory is loaded to 9. And I'm going to perform the same action with these magazines. So I'm going to push the cartridge straight forward, straight forward, straight forward. I don't know if you saw that, but what happened was just before it cleared the lips, the nose tucked down, then it pushed on the front edge right here and rotated up a little bit and then popped up. So it cleared, and would have loaded into the chamber properly. However, notice the next round in place, the bullet is already tipped down towards the front of the magazine. When the slide comes back and cycles to push it, it immediately pushes it and hits the front edge of the magazine. Okay, let's now try the Chip McCormick. Again, this one's loaded to 10 rounds. So I'm going to push it forward, push it forward, push it forward. And notice as soon as I do, it then rotates dramatically down. The tip of the bullet is actually below the front edge of the magazine. There is no way that round can get chambered. So with the Springfield Armory, it would chamber. With the Chip McCormick, in this particular instance, it would not chamber. Okay, why does this happen? Well, what I believe is occurring is you have a tightly compressed spring underneath the follower, and then you've got the stack of all these cartridges sitting on top of it. And the tightly compressed spring causes the back of the lead cartridge to be pressed up against the back edge of these lips. And as you push the cartridge forward, the stack of bullets can actually rotate down a little bit because the follower allows that to happen, as the follower itself can rotate slightly downward. And therefore you get the entire stack of cartridges assuming a slightly nose down position. Slightly nose down position. If it's just slight, like we saw in the Springfield Armory mag, it can clear the leading edge and actually be loaded properly. On the Chip McCormick, in this particular case, it couldn't. It jammed in tight against that. Okay? So, the actual design of the magazine presupposes the cartridge to want to nosedive. Well, then why does it normally not happen? Why does it normally function okay? My guess is the feed ramp found on the modern 1911s. This extends downward from under the magazine opening and is met by the front of the magazine. Let me get my barrel to show you that. Okay, this is the barrel. Just took it out of my Dan Wesson Guardian. This area right here is the feed ramp. Don't believe it was part of the original John Moses design, but you will find it on modern 1911, 9mm 1911s. It is below the chamber opening, and when the magazine is inserted, it comes right up to the bottom of that and meets it. As long as the cartridge remains relatively horizontal, it'll hit the feed ramp and be directed upwards. When the back of the cartridge clears the lips, the rim will actually slide up to under the extractor hook, and this hook then holds the cartridge base against the breech face and holds the cartridge parallel to the bore as it's loaded into the chamber. Notice the shiny track on this dirty barrel. Okay, you see it right here. It goes halfway up, halfway down, it's very dirty, halfway up you see that streak. And what is happening is I fired roughly 90 rounds through the gun yesterday at a match, and the bullet tip hits that magazine ramp about midway and then directs up and into the chamber. And you can see the path of that where that occurs. All right. However, if you have a situation where the bullet is down below the face of the magazine, it'll never get there. And the pressure that is created by the tip of the bullet being shoved up against the face of the magazine there, and the action trying to push the bullet forward can create a lot of pressure, and sometimes it'll create enough action, can create enough pressure that will actually pop the magazine down from the releasing the magazine release spring and create an opening in which that bullet can actually lodge. And at that point, you've got a serious jam. The only way to release it is get the magazine out of there and then go in there and dig it out. Okay, so basically what is happening is too much ammo crammed in too tight a space under heavy pressure, and the normal smooth operation is therefore compromised. Works most of the time through the use of that feed ramp, but sometimes it fails. It's just too much for it. A solution that has worked well for me is to always load the magazines to one less than full capacity. What that does is reduce the overall upward pressure and allows for a smoother operation. That has worked very well for me in all of my 9mm 1911s. Hopefully it will for you as well. As always, shoot safe, and thanks for watching.